Yo, it's your boy Solar. We back with another video. Before we start, let me just give you a little story tell real quick. I get a notification. Danny goes sit there and send me a message that I give up. So YouTube, you know what we gonna do? We about to go ahead and discuss why Danny should not be talking crazy to me like this. If you guys don't know, Danny from the Stop created his own podcast, his own little side podcast featuring Shammy. Guess how many episodes he released before ending the podcast? If you don't know, I got you. 3. I say it again. I say it again for the people in the back. Danny from the Stop got the nerve to ask me that I give up when he dropped 3 little podcast episodes and he had to end it. Let's figure out the reason why Danny had to end his podcast.
All right, y'all. I also wanted to talk about this right here. I did a Patreon episode where I broke down why Stop the King isn't happening, and I'm going to put a clip of that here. But just to give you the short of it, it was just a lot going on. I want to be a think piece channel, and I think the podcast thing is cool, but it also is kind of a lot of work, a lot of back end stuff. And I was like, I can't be as fleet footed as I used to be. And I think Shammy also wanted to stop doing it towards the end because maybe he saw my energy towards the podcast was waning.
YouTube, you just heard it right there. He said the reason why he's stopping his podcast is because of the logistics, the behind the scenes work. Last time I checked, that's the same stuff you was critiquing Joe Budden on. How he does his business. Why he has 6 mics. Why he giving out certain contract the way he does. Why he did Rory and Mal the way he did. All the things that you critique Joe on, you would think that you can implement that into your podcast. How you critiquing Joe Budden on all the stuff he's not doing right, and you not implementing all the good things into your own podcast so you don't have to stop 4 episodes in? You say Queenzflip loud. You say Joe Budden don't do good business. You say the podcast trash. You say Mel only be talking for 2 minutes. You say Ice is the worst podcaster ever. So what you did? You thought you could do your own podcast, bite off a Queenzflip show, improper improv, still his ex-partner. Now you want to come make a video 3 episodes in saying that you're going to end the podcast because podcasting is too much work? It's taken away from your think pieces, discussing Joe Budden all the time? Come on, bruh. YouTube. Don't be telling me if I gave up. You the one that gave up. What's up with this man, YouTube? Hold on, let me switch it back. And he got the nerve to ask me if I gave up. The man dropped 2 little episodes and now he wanna quit. He dropped 2 episodes looking like Drake. Now he wanna wave the white flag. Danny, you just like them Drake fans. You just like Drake. You was talking all that big dog talk. In your little think pieces. Danny, you was talking all that big dog talk in your think pieces. Now when it's your time to do your own stuff, now you want to wave the white flag 2 episodes in. We ain't trying to hear that no more. We ain't trying to hear why you whining. You whining because the studio's expensive to rent out. You hear Joe Budden talking about stuff like that? You hear Joe Budden complaining on how much he has to pay for his studio space? You hear Joe Budden complaining about how much he has to pay the other members of the show? Nah, but you want to do it 2 episodes in. You forgot that you the one that started the podcast, big dog. You was the one that knew this already. Don't tell us it was expensive, big dog. We don't want to hear you saying that it's expensive. You already had booked it. You already had Shammy on it. We ain't trying to hear that no more.
All right. Welcome to an episode that I've been trying to make for a little bit. we're going to talk about the end of Stop the King. So, Absurd's here, and we wanted to have a discussion about the end of Stop the King. Or I wanted to have a Stop the King discussion because everybody's like, where's Stop the King, Danny? Where's Shabby? And a lot of things occurred. But Stop the King is no longer around. Stop the King is a podcast me and Shammy started about a month ago, and it's over. It's over. 4 episodes in. 4th is on Patreon. 4th episode was pretty good too. We did it at Dub Studio. Shout out to Dubs. I think he's building his studio. We're back at Mandy's studio, and that's another thing I'm gonna have to talk about. It's just the idea of starting a podcast and how much work it is, man. A podcast is a lot of work. I'm sure the people who I do content about and criticize like podcast is they're gonna be laughing, or they're gonna be like, "Oh, look at Daddy, his podcast was not able to last long." But I will say that I think it's much better to end a podcast early than have it go on too long. So I'm not above things ending fast.
Man, I ain't trying to hear that. Don't be trying to cop out now. Don't be trying to cop out because you ain't see that thing popping off day one. You thought you was a bit, dog. You thought cause your little Twitter spaces was popping off. You thought your little podcast was gonna pop off. Talking, you heard him? He think he a motivational speaker. Nah, I'd rather stop something sooner than later. Get out of here. I ain't trying to hear that. You don't know how your podcast is gonna look 3 months from now, a year from now. He talking about, yeah, I'd rather stop something sooner than later. Get out of here with that, man. Get out of here with that. You wasn't giving that same message to Mel. You wasn't giving that same message to Queenzflip for Improper Improv. Nah, you just want to give out critiques, giving out negative takes on people all the time. Now when you try to do it, you want to cop out quick. Yeah, guys, this ain't for me. Let me get up out of here quick. Nah, we not trying to hear that. We ain't trying to. We gonna make our jokes. Danny, from now on, hold on, let me talk. Danny, from now on, we don't want to ever hear you critique nobody from the Joe Budden podcast ever again. When you discuss the Joe Budden podcast, it better be positive critiques only. Only. When you discussing and putting out your little negative takes, you better make all them things positive takes. I only want to hear you give out good feedback. You got the nerve to end your podcast in 3 episodes in and got the nerve to critique the Joe Budden podcast. Actually, hold on. Before we move on, Danny, bow your head. You two, bow your head. That's it. That's all you go get, because I know you two go come after me. That's all we go get. Hey, Danny, you already know what that mean. You already know what that mean. YouTube, you know what that mean. Danny, we don't want to hear your excuses. It's your voice so loud, we out.